Hello, welcome back to another episode of the SwansCast match preview, where we are talking about the next game, which is Swansea versus QPR, but we're going away, so we're travelling up the M4 to Loftus Road, and I'm joined by Duncan from the W12 Podcast to tell us a little bit more about QPR and how their season's going so far. So welcome, Duncan. If you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Duncan McCready, obviously from W12 Podcast. So here to talk everything QPR.
Yeah, everything QPR. So, disclaimer, this is being recorded before the big match on Saturday against Cardiff. So, I can't talk in a certain tone depending on the result, okay? So, just getting that out there because it might be a certain tone in a fan base depending what happens on Saturday night. But this has been done before that, so we're going to go in with all the optimism. But before we go there, we're going to just talk about a little bit about QPR. And off the field stuff, if you like, is where I like to start. So, aside from transfers, then over the summer, has there been any big changes, managers, board, whatever that might impact the running of your club, and maybe in a good way, or maybe if bad, if that's what you feel?
So obviously Gareth Ainsworth's had his first full pre-season with us after coming in end of February.
Yeah,
So he's been able to kind of mould the squad kind of in his image, get the players in. He wanted to get the players out who kind of were deemed the bad eggs, as it were. Throwing in that we've lost Les Ferdinand as director of football as well. So there's been a few changes. Tony Fernandez has also stepped away from the club. So it's been a lot of changes at all kind of levels. So yeah, it's been a big summer, and with the players that have come in, we seem to be making progress at the minute.
yeah. From what I've seen, I know the results on paper. Maybe there's we've got 2 wins and 3 losses so far in the league.
Yes, yeah.
From our perspective, that's obviously very good, but I don't know how you feel about your start of the season. Is that disappointing or is that positive?
I think if you'd asked me at the start of the season how I'd feel with 6 points at the end of August, I would have been very happy.
Yeah,
Especially after our opening day defeat to Watford, where we were shambolic for the first half. Obviously 4-0 down. I thought this was going to be a very long season. So to bounce back with a win against Cardiff, it's obviously always good to beat them.
yeah, got to get that in there. That's perfect to get that in there. Yeah, especially if they, depending on the result that's just happened, people would either it's hopefully going to make people feel good during that.
Obviously, we've had a couple of close games with Ipswich and Southampton where there was the odd goal in it, and we weren't outplayed, and we were in the games. We just weren't clinical. We couldn't take our chances. Yeah. And then obviously against Middlesbrough, we did take those chances, and it's probably one of our better performances of the season so far. So it's kind of we're making steps in the right direction, which is what we wanted.
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say is before season, people perhaps thought QPR would struggle a bit. I think ourselves, when we were looking at the prediction of the table, we maybe had you in the lower part based on what happened last season. But from what I've heard and seen, and kind of the general perception is maybe it isn't as bad as what people thought, and you might actually be coming away with some positives at the start of the season. And what I was trying to say is the amount of losses, it looks like a lot of red there with the cup game included as well, but it's not quite what it shows on the pitch, is what I was trying to say.
No. So like I said, they've all been close games. Obviously, last season was just free for all, and it was like we just plummeted down the table, and it was looking like we could even go down. So we needed to steady the ship, and I did a preview at the start of the season, and I said I'd be happy with 21st, just because I didn't know how the season was going to plan out. So it's just hard. I just feel that, as obviously with the changes we've made and how everything was last season, the results don't necessarily show the performances. So as much as there's been a lot of reds and we've lost those games, it's actually the performances haven't been that we've been outplayed. It's been closer than maybe the scoreline suggests or the stats suggest.
Of course, I've got to say as well, I'm saying about all that red, but we've had just as many defeats, so I can't really, I'm not talking from a perspective of looking down, looking up more than anything, but I'm surprised to see maybe the performances you've had so far, and it's obviously looking a little bit better for you than expected. So we'll see what the rest of the season can bring. But what new players maybe have come into the club that have helped you with this transition and with this these positives under Gareth Ainsworth so far? Who are the key people that have come in?
So the key people that have come in, obviously, we've now kind of got a spine of experience in the team. We've got Asmir Begovic in goal, who's for some fans is an upgrade on Seny Dieng, who we sold to Borough.
I was going to
He's
say
got
that's
a
going to
lot
be
of
a good
experience.
signing.
Yeah, he's a brilliant shot stopper, and obviously with how Gareth Ainsworth plays football, he's not needed to be playing like 40, 50-yard passes out the back to feet. It's kind of like just get rid if you need to get rid. So that kind of works for him. We've also got Steve Cook in at centre back, who's been brilliant for us so far. Obviously limped off against Borough, so I'm hoping that wasn't anything too serious. And obviously we've also got Jack Colback in central midfield, who again, he's been absolutely brilliant in the last two games. We've got a goal in both of those starts. So we've kind of got a core there of decent pros, senior pros. We had a lot of youngsters in our team and our squad. So to have those senior heads has been a massive difference for us at the start of the season.
Yeah, it looks good. There's a few definitely experienced players, a lot of Premier League experience there as well. So that can only mean good things, especially if you've got a young squad to try and kind of give them a bit more direction and steady the ship in those matches that could go either way. So you said about the 1-goal swings. I'm sure that experience will turn it the other way around in certain matches.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you're talking about a bit about Gareth Ainsworth. So what style of play is he actually implemented in QPR? Or what do you see on the pitch at the moment from your team?
So obviously he's been tagged with the kind of direct long ball while he was at Wickham, but we are more direct at the minute. But it's not so much aimless long balls just trying to hit our strikers. It's kind of we're using wing backs. It's trying to get them forward as much as possible, but then get them back when we haven't got the ball to be solid. And yeah, obviously it's just trying to get. Obviously we've got Sinclair Armstrong, who's started the season on fire for us. He's putting in a lot of decent performances, and he's one to watch for us this season. So it's kind of trying to get him in the channels, making those good runs, and then the midfielders kind of supporting with the wing backs pushing on as well. So it's a lot more kind of progressive than just direct football.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the team that you've got out in your last game against Middlesbrough, and you can see the systems like a 3-4-3. Is that what he's been using consistently then, the formation?
That's kind of been it since the Watford game, first game of the season, where it was kind of diabolical. They kind of tore that up and they've changed it up because all pre-season it was kind of like a 4-2-3-1, and yeah, didn't work first game of the season. So he's kind of gone back to having like three at the back with wing backs when we haven't got the ball, and then obviously pushing on with the wing backs to try and like join the attack more when we have got the ball. So it's just kind of making us a bit more solid.
So so I said 3-4-3. So it'd be like more of a 3 or 5-2-3 then, maybe with wing backs rather than 4 in midfield. Okay, that's fair. I mean, wing backs is quite popular these days. I think a lot of teams are trying to utilise them. Things go in phases, don't they? And I think 4 at the back and 4-2-3-1 specifically is creeping back in slowly. We'll see where it goes in the next 2 seasons or so, but wing backs is definitely what's been in trend for the last few seasons. So have you got any predicted lineup expectations or players that you think will definitely feature in this game?
Obviously, I think people that would definitely feature will be, obviously, like I said, Begovic, I think Colback, Sinclair Armstrong's been away of Ireland, both the senior and the under-21s, but hopefully he won't be too tired to be featuring for us. But like I said, we've got 3 games in 6 days, so come Tuesday, I'm not sure who's going to be playing, because it's a tricky one, because we're going to have to rest some players. They can't all of them play those 3 games, so I'm not convinced of who's going to be playing which games at the minute.
Yeah, no, that's a hard question for me to ask, considering we haven't had the weekend yet. Obviously, as I said, we haven't played Cardiff, and you haven't played your match either. Who is your match, actually?
We've got Sunderland.
So is that home or away?
It's away.
So they're coming off the back of a big win against Southampton, and so I'm sure they'll be full of confidence going into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tricky
So
one. Well, good luck for Sunderland. Hopefully you get a win
thanks.
so that it takes the pressure off you again to win when we come up then. So let's narrow it down then. Talk maybe a key player that Swansea should watch out for. If he's on the pitch, who's going to do damage to us?
Like I said, Sinclair Armstrong started the season really well. He's young, he's raw, he's quick and powerful. So if we can get the right kind of service to him, he's definitely someone who can cause problems. Obviously, we've still got Ilias Chair, managed to keep hold of him this summer, and on his day, he's a very good player at this level and can unlock defences, score like worldies. So I'd say those two are probably our key men at the minute. Not sure how much Lyndon Dykes is going to feature. He's had a few minutes with Scotland during the international break, but was out for us before that. So again, not sure how much he's going to feature over these next 3 games. But again, he's a key man for us.
Hopefully he's still coming back from a knock then, and we don't see too much of him. But you're saying that Sinclair Armstrong is doing a good job anyway, so maybe it doesn't really matter who features. Okay, let's flip that question then. What Swansea City player worries you then if they were to feature in the game?
Obviously, Yates is a good player. Obviously, he came in to replace Pirol, so he's always a threat. Obviously, I like Patino in midfield. I think he's a good little player and can control the game. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? There's so many players you could feature, who couldn't feature. Like I said, it's hard to predict who's going to be.
Those two, I would imagine those two will start. They've basically started every game since they come in. I think Patino started his first on the bench and has been ever present ever since. And to be fair, he started very well and had 3 assists in his first 4 games. So playing well, and obviously Yates has got 2 goals. But we're down there for a reason at the moment. Scoring goals hasn't been in abundance. Let's just say that. Okay, that's pretty much it for all the football talk. So thank you very much. But I do like to end on a question that I ask everyone when we do these videos, and that is just, what's your favourite pint or drink if you don't drink alcohol when you go to a stadium?
Obviously, my favourite pint at the minute is I like that Cruz Campo.
I've not tried that.
Yeah, you've not tried that? Yeah, it's like a Spanish lager. I like that. I enjoy that, but you don't get it at many grounds.
It's probably one of them bougie style drinks, is it, that they don't offer at the football?
Yeah, exactly. But any pint of lager for me. I'm not fussy.
See, I'm more of a cider drinker. I do drink beer now and again, but it's in terms of like broadening my horizons and all the different options. So I've not heard of that one, but maybe if I'm going around to certain grounds, I'll keep an eye out for it. Where have you had that one before then?
Like I said, it's normally in the pub before the ground.
Yeah.
Don't get it in many grounds. So and most good pubs.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll stock it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I get the same problem with the grounds with cider, because a lot of grounds don't even offer you a basic cider option. So stuck then with some warm Carlsberg or something. So
yeah, exactly that. That's not the best on the best of days, is it?
No. But there we go. That's enough of that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of that consumed over the next weekend and ahead of this game for people who are travelling up to the away day at Loftus Road. So if you want to remind them where maybe they can find your content if you are doing any pre-match stuff on the Swansea game.
So obviously our content is the W12 Podcast. You can find us there, or you can have a look on our Twitter handle, and there's links to everything we put up there.
Yeah. And it will be linked in the description below if you want quick access to any of Duncan's team, Duncan and his team's content about anything QPR, and obviously specifically about the Swansea game. On that note then, thank you very much for joining me, Duncan, and I wish you best of luck for the rest of the season after Tuesday.
Yeah, and you, mate.
and the one other fixture that's later down the line, but I'm sure we'll have another catch-up before then. So
yeah, no worries. Brilliant, man. Good luck for Saturday. Get that win.
Well, I mean, we're obviously speaking because it hasn't happened, but people hearing this will either be like fuming right now and probably not even watching if that's the case, or probably still drunk otherwise. So yeah. I don't know whose idea it was, mine, to put it on 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. That fixture historically has never been, it's always early. It's always like 12:30. It's bubble match. It's the only bubble match that we have. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's just say that.
That's a lot of cider consumed before 8 o'clock, isn't it?
I know, but they are transporting the fans in a very What's
There's
the way
no
to put
alcohol,
it?
is there?
A very uncivilized way. I think it's
Yeah.
like 4 o'clock bus journey, considering it's 45-minute bus ride to Cardiff from Swansea. 4 o'clock they got to get on a bus, and that's 4 hours ahead of the game. I think they're taking them straight to the stadium. I mean, there's been a lot of unhappy fans around the circumstances and the rules that have been put in place for this one. Originally, they announced no food and no water was allowed to be taken on the buses. Everyone, I know, I've never seen it such another level of like poor decision making. But there we go. That's another conversation. But yeah, thanks, Duncan, for joining me. I'll end the video
worries,
here.
mate.
Leave a comment what you think the score will be against QPR. Do you think maybe Swansea will either get their first or second win, depending on what happens on the previous game, or we're going to continue to perhaps struggle into the season and QPR maybe can continue to push on? Let us know in the comments below, and we shall catch you in the next video. Thank you very much.